home win against Bristol City in what I've heard described as one of the most one-sided championship matches of all time. We had a marvellous game. Fantastic football going forward, really good. Glad to see Costa doing so well. We didn't again score the goals that we should have done, but it wasn't one for the one to try, and this time it was about a goalkeeper on form. Really was on form. We've got Harrison and Costa, and they looked the biz yesterday. Hernandez also looked good, and we had that man, Ayling, scoring against his old side. And it looked like a bit of a scramble, but for me, the ball played by Matches Click, marvellous ball across. He saw Ayling in space. It wasn't that good a ball to him. It could have easily not worked out, but it was great vision pass to him. Ayling took it well, put it into the net, left footed, and saw the relief. Now, there wasn't the hope for goal feast that we were really hoping to put things right, but this was a fantastic day for Leeds. Earlier in the day, we'd got a late equaliser for Forest at West Brom, meant that both sides dropped points. This was the day that we were the only winners out of the top 7. A real result, real outcome that can build on it for the future. And yesterday was best performance in weeks and weeks and weeks. The only thing missing was the goals. And as I said, it was being unlucky rather than poor finishing. Goalkeeper in form, some excellent finishing, some excellent chances. Costa looked the business for a change. Harrison keeping up his form. Bamford looked good. Sometimes he doesn't go for the easiest finish. He sometimes rushes it. He had a goal chalked off and it for an obvious offside when the ball came off the bar, but you could have seen it the other way around. But this is a team that confidence has come back. For whatever reason, started at Brentford. You could feel it around the ground. You could feel it among the team. This is a great side. Stack of chances again. 18. 5 on target. And they were all really good chances. The normal slagging off of Bamford, and he really does suffer. He does suffer when he doesn't get the goals that we need. But imagine what it would be like if we had a 10th goal a season striker like the top sides had last year. But that's not going to happen. Augustine, he's in the same mode as Bamford. He's only going to do the same. Didn't get a chance yesterday, but he will contribute. He does give us an option when Bamford's not available. And thankfully, we're getting the goals from elsewhere. So Ayling last week and this week, little magician Pablo Hernandez did the business. Laid all those fears to rest for yesterday. And we're in a really strong position. So we've now got a nice 5-point cushion. The defence as a whole didn't play that well yesterday. They held out, no goals, and Calvin also returning, but seemed a bit off the pace. And we had a really dodgy first half. Keith Andrews, the Sky pundit, we know he doesn't like us and he seized on it. You should have owned crowing about the lucky goal, and it was a lucky goal. Ayling meant it. Now, someone said it was going wide. It wasn't going wide. I don't think it was going wide. Whether it was going in is debatable. However, took a lucky spin and then curled in. Keeper could do nothing. But think about what we've had early in the season. We deserve the luck sometimes, and it went for us yesterday. But Keith, he couldn't do a thing about it. He couldn't argue the point about minutes later. Pablo, little magician, really on fire yesterday. Cut in, eyed it up, struck it against the bar. Fantastic. It should have been in. After scoring the goal and getting ahead, fantastic. All the fans up again. Thought it was going to be one of those days. It wasn't the end, but thought it was going to be one of those days. Bamford never looked like scoring really, but actually thinking about it, that's not really his game these days. He's a target man. He brings the others in, and while they're scoring, and they are at the minute, actually, does it really matter? We need to watch, not shooting his confidence to bits. He really makes us up front. He gave them, Hull, a real hard time yesterday. He did quite a bit of messing about like he did against Villa. So there's a bit of dodgy arms out. So saying, what did I do, ref? What, me? But he knew what he was doing. But actually it worked. They were all over him, trying to press him.
and it brought the other players in. Then masterstroke. As Bamford was tiring, in came Roberts. And this guy, the one that we've had there all along, could actually be the 20-goal striker we want. He looked really, really sharp. The way he moved ahead of Click and got the striking for his first. That's a striker's eagerness. That's something that Bamford hasn't got. And we shouldn't expect it of him. He can't be all things to all men. And then afterwards, cross coming in. And there was Robert. Fantastic header back against goal. Sort of thing we haven't done for quite some time. This was a striker in form. Of course, don't know how we're going to fit him in now. And it might be he plays the Nketiah role, coming on second half or late on as Bamford wears them out and tires himself and puts the finishing touch. But yesterday we had Ayling pushing forward and striking, Costa and Harrison, and Pablo really on his game. These guys will get us the goal. Bring on the guy at the end, Roberts, to finish things off. He can do the business, and he did yesterday. Now that was a really good result at the end of a really good week. So early in the week, won at Middlesbrough, and the side got a fair amount of slagging off against a poor team, won by a single goal. But we did the business, and we saw it out. We approached the game against Huddersfield, the local derby against the dog botherers. I suppose in two schools of thought. There was two ways to look at it. We've been so good over the last 4 games, 4 straight victories, no goals conceded, coming off the back of a wonderful display against Hull, a real rip-roar where we scored 4. Then we should have had no problem against Huddersfield, should we? Yes, but we've heard before, we always seem to struggle when things are most going for us, and we always seem to come aground on teams like Huddersfield, teams like Wigan, what happened to us previously. But the overwhelming opinion was that we should have enough to beat them. Anyway, forget all that. I think from the moment that Luke Ayling, wonderfully acrobatic, struck home the ball that came across from Harrison, it was never going to be anything else, was it? Now, truth be known, Huddersfield came into the game quite strongly. They got quite a deal of possession. They had a lot of play in our half of the pitch, but they didn't do that much with it. And we coped with what they threw remarkably well. So you've got here Cooper and Berardi, 2 of the longest serving players at Leeds United now, doing admirable jobs at the back. Dallas and Ayling, really good, really good. A lot of criticism for both of them. Ayling for his distribution, Dallas for it's not really his best position, he'd be better playing elsewhere. They'd soon have him on the right. And behind them, got Iliam Messier again, keeping his position, keeping him with a clean sheet. Wonderful guy. Inspires confidence in a way that Casillas never did. Anyway, whether what was a storm from Huddersfield, got to half-time 1-0, not sure. Could do with some more goals. However, game management was superb, and things were topped off early in the second half. Ben Whitehead parried. Bamford, the goal napper. Right place, right time, top home. A couple of feet. That's all it was. Should have seen the relief on his face. After that, we had Harrison hitting the bar. Another great effort. Should have been better rewarded. But that was it really. No more excitement. Game management at its finest, and that's what we really want. To go through a game where we don't really need to be on the edge of the seats all the time. We want a bit of happiness, don't we, guys? And wonder of wonders, we're back on top of the table. 12 points from 9 games. 4 victories. That's all we need. Do the same with 3 victories and 3 draws. Do the same. And the big test for us is to come after Cardiff. We have Fulham at home. Avoid defeat. There's a danger in playing for the draw. There's always a danger in playing for the draw. We should go for them like we normally do. But as long as we don't lose, then there's every chance here. Every chance. I feel so confident at the minute. And it's not a good place to be for a Leeds United fan. Eddie Heights. We know there's going to be twists and turns. Thought it might have been today. Possibly will be at Cardiff next week. Cardiff looks difficult. Fulham's the key for us. Just avoid defeat. Fulham will be running out of games. They'll be running ragged then. Where does that leave them to go? Not many places.